We're back, baby. Good morning. We are back in Athens, Greece. I'm at the Acropolis Museum right now, and after this we're going to go over to the Acropolis. We do have a video where we came here on our honeymoon, so we're so excited to be back again. I think this one is one that's a little more in-depth. I'm able to tell you a little bit more now. And right when you walk into the Acropolis Museum, you start seeing things that they found in the Parthenon and around it as well. Things that date from, like this one, the 1st century, or over here you've got something from the 4th century. So really cool things that we're going to be seeing today, a lot of history, so get ready for that. We're looking at so many things right now that date as far back as 700 BC, and I feel like I'm on repeat in all these videos just saying how insane it is, the amount of detail they're able to pack into this stuff, but it is crazy. So I'm going to say it again. So some areas of the museum are no photos, just so you know if you ever come here. There are a lot of statues you might not get pictures of, but it kind of like gives you a moment to just take it in yourself and, you know, not look through the camera lens, observe it with your own eyes. We're going into that right now, so I'll see you on the other end. But I do want to tell you about something that's in the no photo area, just because I can see it from here right now. There are a few statues where they barely have any coloring left on them, and to us on the statue it looks like maybe just like a little bit of red, but they'll have renderings of what the statue used to look like color-wise that you can see right next to it. I'll see if I can find any like stock footage of that at all to put in here, but it is really cool being able to see what it looks like now and how it's weathered and what it used to look like originally. One thing you might notice is that a lot of these statues are kind of broken apart and in different pieces. They do a really good job of trying to put that together for you, but that actually happened because in the 5th century the Persian Wars were going on, and the Persians came to the Acropolis, set a ton of things on fire, and pulled off all the statues so they can destroy it all. Obviously their goal was to destroy everything, but they did not succeed, because clearly we get to see a lot of this today, and it just makes it a little bit more incredible that we are able to see this, because people tried to make sure we couldn't. Another thing that you might notice about a lot of the statues here, if they have a face, they probably don't have a nose, because that's kind of the first thing to erode. Kind of interesting. This is a kind of creepy example of how these statues don't look the same now as they originally did. Obviously, they're thousands of years old, so the eyes that used to be in some of them have eroded. For a lot of them, the color has faded. For this one, the color has drained down, so it looks like she's crying. So right behind me is actually a depiction that used to be on the Parthenon. It's actually depicting Athena versus Poseidon. I mentioned this in our last Athens video, but I'll let you know one more time if you haven't seen that. Pretty much what had happened was when they were trying to name the city, the women wanted to name it after Athena, the men wanted to name it after Poseidon, and they went ahead and voted for it. This is depicting the actual argument about it, but there ended up being one more woman than men, and so Athena won and the city was named Athens. We're making our way out of the museum now, but one thing I do want to tell you about is the restaurant here. It's actually really, really good, and because we are taking a cruise ship, we're all fed and ready to go. But the way I would suggest doing this whole journey is start at the museum, see everything that used to be in the Acropolis, have lunch or whatever meal you need, and then after that, actually go to the Acropolis. That way you can picture all of these things inside of it and really get the majestic vibe. We just checked in for our tour and now we're heading over to the Acropolis. We got a giant water. This was €1. This is why we love Greece. But make sure you have water for all of your tours, because the one time you forget, you're really gonna regret it, and later you will not be good. So have your water. We're here! So the Acropolis was built in 5th century BC, and it's a little bit of a climb up to it, but they try to make it as, what's the opposite of steep? As non-steep as possible. They try to make it nice and comfortable. I always like coming here with the guide because they take little stops here and there to give you more information. So I would definitely recommend doing that. but we're starting the hike. On your way up to the Parthenon, you're gonna pass a lot of different ruins. So the first one that we're passing is this ancient theater. They actually used to believe that it was cathartic or almost like therapy to come to the theater. So they would even give tickets to the poor to be able to come here because they believed everybody needs to do it because it's an escape from your everyday life to just kind of escape reality. I just said escape twice, but you get what I mean. To keep it real, it is super hot and the walk is treacherous. So just prepare for that if you come in a hotter time. But the fun part, we passed the theater and now we're passing an audience, which obviously the theater is going to be for theatrical performances. This is more for musical performances and they're still using it to this day. And a ton of really cool artists have worked there or played there already before, like Sting, Elton John, Frank Sinatra, a bunch of different people. It would be so cool to go to a show there. Right now, the Greek Summer Festival is happening there, I believe. So cool. Next stop is the actual Parthenon. I'll show you what I'm walking up right now. I will let you know, every time you're coming up, you're always like, oh no, I have to come down. It is really easy to get down. That's not too hard. So getting up, that's tough. We're almost there. You're gonna pass the first Parliament of Greece. As we head up though, behind me is the entrance to the Parthenon, and I'm going to put up right here what it looked like originally versus how it looks right now, kind of a before and after for you. This kind of clearly used to have a roof on top until in 1683 it was struck by lightning, and you know, obviously over time it continues to wear. So this is what it looks like now. And there used to be a giant statue of Athena right here as well. So kind of one of these places that you need to imagine what it used to look like. A lot of help having gone to the museum ahead of time. Honestly, even without the history and knowing what it used to look like, it currently looks insane. We're at the back side of the Parthenon right now. And instead of showing you a side-by-side of what it used to look like and what it looks like now, I'm actually going to hope that we have a future video where we go to Nashville, because there's a recreation of the Parthenon full scale with the big giant Athena statue inside that used to be here. Don't know why they did that in Nashville, but I'm hoping that we're going to have a video in the future of going there. Right across from the Parthenon, you've got the most famous ladies in all of Athens. These are statues that are built to support right here. And I told you in the last Athens video about how they were reconstructed very early on because they were standing just on 2 feet, and then they reconstructed them to be on 1 foot because that was too stagnant. And the statues here just need to be perfect. But they also know that they used to be in bright colors. So one had a white dress, one had a red dress, one had a yellow dress. I'll put up a picture here for you. These are recreations. The originals are the ones that I showed you in the museum. But even, you know, half eroded, no color, still a masterpiece, so I cannot imagine when they were new. So right across from the front of the Parthenon, you not only have one of the best views in Athens right over here. You can go to a lookout point and kind of see everything in the city. You also have the only bathrooms on the Acropolis. So make sure you go before you come here, because this is going to be your only chance to go again. And it was a long journey to get up here. I take back what I said about that being the best view. If you go to the right of the entrance of the Parthenon, you're going to get this view as well. They're both amazing, but this one you can see the Pantheon Stadium, the Temple of Zeus, and the museum right there where you've got that restaurant that I was telling you about. We are so excited to be back. The last time we were here was the first stop of our honeymoon, and I remember just being so amazed by being in Europe in general, let alone a world wonder, obviously. But we didn't think we'd be able to come back. It's been less than a year and we've already come back, and we're very grateful. Also, if you didn't already know, James loves this place. He has a tattoo of the Acropolis. He's also got Zeus, Poseidon, Hercules. Why am I telling them? You go ahead.
Yes, so I love the Acropolis. So you have Zeus with his hand in a lightning bolt, and Hercules, Poseidon with his trident. You can't see it. There we go. And then on the back, we have Hades and his dogs. and then Medusa on the hand with the Greek word zito, which means to live.
Like I said in our last video, I feel like I could just stay here all day and just sit and read a book, but unfortunately, it's time to go. Luckily, we have been here before and we've already gotten a moment to take it in the past, but we didn't come here alone, and everyone else is ready to go. So it's time to get out of here and go out for some food, I think. We're approaching our lunch stop. We are definitely getting gyros over here. There's no way that you can come here and not get gyros. The other thing that you have to try when you're here, Greek salad. It has no lettuce in it. That's the way it is meant to be. And then also bougatsa. So good. We are definitely getting some of that. It's really hot, so James really wants some gelato, but I made him a compromise and said if we get gelato, we have to get bougatsa to go. Oh my gosh, I was so excited. I didn't show you any of the food we just ate. It was very good, but now we've got gelato, and I can show you that. After all that food, it is definitely time to head back to the ship. We need to get back there in time, so we are just taking a taxi back over. By the way, if you do ever come to Athens on a cruise, you do have to take a taxi. It's about 25 minutes from Piraeus. We have really enjoyed having you with us and taking you to the Acropolis and to the museum as well. We're so grateful to be back and so grateful that you're watching. If you enjoyed, definitely feel free to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. I'd love to talk to you. But other than that, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.